Hello and welcome to today's webinar, What's New with ResNexus 2024. In this webinar, I'll go over many of the improvements that we've developed during 2023. Some of these will be tools that are new to you, and others will be improvements that will make your life a little easier. But first, a little about me. My name is Gavin Wadsworth. I'm a hospitality researcher and marketing writer at ResNexus, and I also manage our webinars. Because I'm going to go over a wide variety of topics in this annual What's New webinar, I'll be following this agenda. So we're going to start with some of our big ticket items, ResNexus Payments, then contracts, guest feedback, and travel protection. And then I have a list of quality of life improvements to ResNexus that we'd like to make you aware of. And then at the end, we will have time for a Q&A. If you have a question about any of the topics I covered today, you can feel free to drop it into the questions field at any time so you don't forget, and we'll get to it at the end. Starting off with ResNexus Payments. In case you haven't heard the news, this is a fantastic opportunity for you to consolidate your operations with integrated reporting, enjoy a competitive rate, and take advantage of the integration with ResNexus to help you with chargebacks. ResNexus Payments provides built-in reporting, which you can access directly from within your ResNexus account. That means one fewer account and login you have to keep track of, and you can quickly check in on your payment processing whenever you need with our built-in reports. You can easily generate and download statements for your credit card transactions. And here you can see 2.9% plus 30 cents processing fees across the board, even for American Express. Which brings us to that competitive pricing I was talking about. ResNexus Payments uses a flat pricing model similar to services like Stripe and Square. That means you can reliably see a credit card processing charge of 2.9% plus 30 cents for transactions. And that's true regardless of the card type. So that means you're getting the same low cost for Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and yes, even Amex. Many businesses who use a different pricing model for payment processing choose not to accept American Express cards because of the high processing costs involved. That means they're turning away customers who use those cards. But with ResNexus Payments, you can enjoy the same competitive rate regardless of card type, so you don't have to turn away paying customers. A 2.9% fixed rate for American Express is a fantastic deal, so you can accept those cards without breaking the bank. Another difference with ResNexus Payments is we can help your business with chargeback scenarios from clients. So, if and when you get a chargeback, we can research and file corroborating information from your reports and back office to help protect your business. And finally, ResNexus is PCI compliant and adheres to the highest level of security measures required by Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover, ensuring your guests' information is stored securely and safely. We undergo an external audit at the end of every year to ensure full compliance to data security standards, so you can rest easy knowing that your transactions are secure through ResNexus. You can access ResNexus Payments in your settings via the credit card processing button, either by scrolling to find it or by typing it in the search bar. Next up is contracts. We announced this as an upcoming item in last year's What's New webinar, but now it's fully launched and available to our Premier subscribers. This tool is extremely useful for long-term leases and big dollar reservations like weddings and events, as well as liability waivers. So, large events and weddings. When you need to lock down the price and catering fees for corporate events or weddings, Contracts is great for that because you can require and collect any number of documents from the client, including a proof of insurance, driver's license, and anything else you need. It's also good to designate days, setup costs, catering, and takedown in writing, and ResNexus Contracts makes it easy to manage these contracts for you. Another use is long-term or ongoing rentals for campgrounds. As we continue to expand into the growing campground industry, many of them have sites that are rented all season long or even longer, and oftentimes they have staff that are living on premise as well, so contracts are also useful for this scenario. Similarly, there's marinas. Most boat slips are rented for long periods of time, and need more legal protections than just your average booking. Property management companies need software to manage long-term leases. During the pandemic, when remote work was at its peak, many families were looking for long-term leases. Vacation rentals were also going into month-long bookings, and in many states, when you cross a certain stay threshold, you need a lease agreement for that. For years, we've had properties who also do tours or have motorized vehicle rentals. Well, now you can make a contract template in your back office specifically for these scenarios and then easily have guests fill out and sign it. Which leads us into liability waivers, meaning on the property side, you can email a liability waiver contract out to guests and then have them sign it, and it'll be recorded in your back office. At the end of the day, our goal with ResNexus contracts is to help your property save time by automating the contract process. In addition, you can have one place where all your contracts are stored and linked to guest data, along with any required documentation. New contract templates come preloaded with content text, which you'll of course want to change before you send it out to guests. You can copy and paste your text from another document or start from scratch. The next tab over takes you to options for this template. Here you can select which documents are required. So for example, again, driver's license, proof of insurance, or any other documentation. You can also select whether this template is used for ongoing reservations and whether vehicle information is required. And then in the Party Fields tab, you can specify what additional information is required by the contract parties. Back on the template screen, we can see that our zipline liability waiver is listed here. Note that once a contract has been sent out to other parties, you can no longer edit it. If you need to revise your contract, you'll need to duplicate it first and then edit the new one. You also cannot delete contracts that have already been sent out. And you can view any past contracts in this tab under Operations. When you go there, you can see which contracts have been sent and signed. And if you click the New Contract button at the top here, you'll be able to select a contract and send it out to the relevant parties. You can find contracts on your settings page, and once again, this tool is only available at our Premier Edition. The next item on our What's New is the ResNexus Guest Feedback System. And the goal for this is to help provide you with more visibility into how guests view your business, and also to help you generate more positive reviews online. You can include the feedback tag in your thank you emails, which will add this section, allowing the guest to select their level of satisfaction with their stay. When they click it, they'll then be taken to this screen where they can select their level of satisfaction from exceeded expectations all the way down to didn't meet expectations, and then provide a comment of their overall experience in that field. And if they select exceeded expectations, you can then route them to this screen to leave a review on any of these sites that you choose. So in this way, you can both learn more about how your guests are viewing your business, and you can help generate more positive reviews from your happy guests. And you're also able to provide a custom message here beyond the default one. Along with this, there's a new guest feedback report that you can find in the back office. From here, you can see how your guests are viewing your property in a specific date range, whether they were extremely satisfied, satisfied, or unsatisfied, and you can also go back through and see the notes that they've left. The next item on our enhancements is added protections under our travel protection service. Launched in 2020, ResNexus Travel Protection was our response to COVID-19 to help businesses prevent loss of income due to last-minute illness and other health conditions. And the guest pays a small fee for this added protection at the time of booking. Then, if they have to cancel for one of the protected reasons, 100% of their booking amount minus the travel protection fee is refunded on your behalf. Then travel protection reimburses your business for the same amount. The guests love the added flexibility in the event of unexpected circumstances, and your property can rest easy knowing that last-minute cancellations won't hurt your revenue. And often, you can rebook the room or unit as well. For those of you who are not familiar with how travel protection works, if a guest gets sick or experiences one of the following conditions or events 14 days or fewer before their arrival date, ResNexus provides both you and the guest with a 100% refund minus the travel protection fee. And if the illness happens more than 14 days before, then you just apply your normal cancellation policies and treat it like any other booking. And this has been true since the inception of travel protection, but we've now added some more protections. For example, ResNexus Travel Protection now includes last-minute illness or health condition for your household pets, and we do require a veterinarian's note as proof for this. Since we introduced this service, we've protected over 28,000 bookings and reimbursed properties and guests over $144,000 for last-minute cancellations due to illness. And we have over a 98% reimbursement approval rate for qualified bookings. We've also expanded to 2 new categories of protections: adverse weather involving rain or snow and travel delays. So when you enable travel protection, you'll be able to select which ones you'd like to offer. And then those options would then be displayed on your booking engine for the guest to choose from when they select a unit. We're happy to announce one of the most requested protections from campgrounds, and that's adverse weather involving rain. Basically, if the rain picks up between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. and lasts 2 to 4 hours, we'll provide a 50% reimbursement of that day's booking value. If it lasts more than 4 hours, we'll provide 100% reimbursement for that day. And the proof required for this is pretty straightforward. The guest just has to supply a picture or screenshot of rain at their destination. It could also be signs of rain, including wet structures, ground, etc., and ResNexus would then verify the weather event using data from their National Weather Service. Now, rain might not be a huge concern for most indoor reservations, but hurricanes are a different story, and we protect for those events too. So if a hurricane impacts the 50-mile radius around the property up to 2 days before their arrival date, then travel protection provides a refund. If the hurricane only impacted a portion of the stay date, we'll reimburse a prorated portion. We also protect against adverse weather involving snow. If the blizzard or other severe winter storm event closes the roads near the property, preventing your guests from getting to you, travel protection reimburses for that. Travel protection can now also cover transportation delays, such as unexpected flight disruption or cancellation. For proof of this, we require a picture of the airline ticket and a notice of the delay or cancellation. And the flight delay or cancellation must have occurred 24 hours prior to the arrival date. Other protected travel and transportation delays include public transport failure or mechanical breakdown of their vehicle. And for proof of that, we require a picture of the vehicle breakdown as well as an invoice or receipt for the breakdown recovery service. If it was stolen, we would just require the incident number or report. Also, home emergencies. If burglars break into your guest's house, or it catches on fire, or floods, or their travel documents get stolen, travel protection can refund for these situations as well. And for proof, we just require a picture of the insurance claim, or a police report, or other responding emergency services. If one of your guests is a member of armed or emergency services and is recalled to work with fewer than 14 days' notice, they are eligible for a reimbursement under travel protection. And for proof, we simply require a letter or a note from the commanding officer or line manager to confirm the recall to duty and that it was not on their original schedule. Court summons is another one that can crop up unexpectedly. If your guests get summoned for jury duty or to appear as a witness during their stay, and they had fewer than 14 days' notice, they're eligible for a reimbursement from travel protection. And for proof, we simply require a copy of the letter requiring jury duty or summons. And finally, there's unexpected changes in important exam schedules. So if your guest is a college or university student, and their final exam schedule changes with fewer than 14 days' notice, and it impacts their stay date with you, they are also eligible for a reimbursement. And for proof, we just require a letter from the school, college, or university confirming the change of date of the exam. So if you'd like to enable travel protection or change the types of travel protection that you offer for your business, you can access it from the settings in your ResNexus back office. You'll then see the information screen here where you can learn more about it and click Enroll. And if you'd like a more in-depth explanation of travel protection, you can view our previous webinar on our website. While we completed many enhancements during 2023, the enhancements we will cover today fall into a few categories, international options, third-party connections, direct connect, generation 6, settings, reservations, and reports. To allow ResNexus to expand into other countries, we added additional back-office and booking engine language options and settings, including date format for US or international properties, and additional options for taxes. For our remote lock connection, we added access schedules to allow you to set hours of the day when guests are allowed to use their code to open the lock. For example, this can come in handy for providing guest access to facilities like a clubhouse or a pool only during certain hours of the day. This next enhancement has to do with our integration with wild energy utility meters. We added additional controls and visibility for users with those meters, allowing you to see at a glance what utilities have not yet been billed on the reservation, stop or start the meter, see any meter read errors, and modify readings for that reservation. This next one has to do with text messaging. So the campaign registry was an organization formed in 2020 by major phone service providers to enhance the reliability and integrity of text messaging as a form of business-to-consumer communication. So to comply with the guidelines from the campaign registry that they implemented and ensure deliverability of text messages, ResNexus integrated with our texting service provider's campaign registry connection. So this streamlines the process for users to get their number registered. ResNexus handles the complex requirements and regulations behind the scenes. Users just have to provide their legal business information, and then we will handle the rest. We've got a few Airbnb enhancements. Airbnb seasonal discounts allow you to configure a discount to offer on the Airbnb platform for one or more of your listings for a season of the year, which can help improve your visibility on Airbnb and help generate more bookings. Continuing with Airbnb, this next enhancement is a big one you'll want to take a look at if you list on Airbnb. Airbnb Auto Guest Review allows you to configure a default guest review that will be submitted to Airbnb 7 days after the departure date. So why is this so important? Well, this basically acts like a dead man switch to automatically review your guests, which acts as a reminder to the guest to leave you a review on Airbnb in turn, if they haven't already. People love to reciprocate positivity with positivity. So if your default message is something like, "Hey, you've been a wonderful guest, thank you so much for choosing our property, you're welcome back anytime," then they're more likely to leave you a good review in turn. And again, this can help improve your visibility on Airbnb, which is vitally important to getting booked. And the reason it's set to send out 7 days after departure is to give you a chance to put in a custom review if your default one doesn't fit. So if you need a custom review for a specific guest, just submit it to Airbnb before that 7th day. Continuing with Direct Connect, Airbnb, Booking.com, and Expedia, Prevent Split Reservations is a setting that allows you to set if you want to allow guest stays that may require the guests to move during their stay to fill vacancy holes, or to prevent these split reservations, ensuring the guest will be able to stay in the same unit for the duration of their stay. So if you've got multiple units that are identical and you don't want the guest to have to up and move in the middle of their stay, you can enable or disable this depending on your preference for that. When you set a unit on your booking engine to require a guest to call to book the unit for any reason, you can now display your phone number beside the Call Us note. Also, on the booking engine, you are able to request vehicle information from your guests, and you're now able to collect license plate information from Canadian guests. Gift certificate images. You are now able to upload your own gift certificate images as well as set the default image. Unique gift certificates can now be sold as part of a package to offer your guests a discount on a gift certificate or to offer a bonus gift certificate with a purchase. The Versatile Rate Types tool is more versatile than ever. You now have the option to increase rates with a rate type in addition to the previous options, which only offer discount options. So if you wanted to offer a refundable rate at a higher price point, you can do that with rate types. Or if you want to have a rate type for a stay that includes breakfast and one without, you can do that too. Fractional booking settings can now be used to create a block the day before a guest's arrival and the departure date to allow for cleaning time. This next enhancement is for analytics e-commerce events. We've improved how ResNexus sends e-commerce events to Google. We've also added some extra parameters for some events and added support for rentals and added a link to the analytics page. For marketing emails, we've added your unit images to the marketing image media library for ease of use. We've added a property map option to the guest portal, which is also used for contactless check-in. So if you have a property map, your guests can now access that directly from their phone. For reservation payments, we've added an unselected payment type option when credit card is the default and the guest has no card on file to avoid accidental cash payments being recorded. And going along with that, we've added the option to record notes with any payment type. These notes are displayed on the Payments tab of the reservation. If you're using daily or weekly rentals at your property, you've likely already noticed you now have the convenient ability to manually extend your rental reservations by week or a month with the click of a button. This one's a request from Academy 2023. We've added the option to send the confirmation email after the first payment has been processed for back office phone reservations. When moving a reservation, you now have the option to send welcome emails now or later. Retail items that have already been added to a reservation can now be edited. This allows you to update the quantity, price, date, and guest. Auto export and email functionality have been added in accounting settings for your daily journal entries. For the front desk, we've swapped guest phone out for the guest cell phone on the front desk. The front desk page will still display phone if no cell phone is provided. And then the last one we'll end on today is the new Flash Summary report. And this one's very exciting. This report will help you keep your finger on the pulse of your business, seeing arrival, stayover, and departure counts easily in one place alongside occupancy and ADR data. You can access this report right now by simply going into your reports and typing in Flash, and it should bring up the Flash Summary report. All right, with that, we've come to the end of the webinar. We'll get to the Q&A in just a moment, so feel free to start dropping your questions into the field provided. In the meantime, I'd like to say that if you enjoyed this webinar and would like to view any of our past ones, you can do so by going to our website, resnexus.com. When you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a Webinars button, which will take you to our entire library of past webinars. You can also register for upcoming webinars on this page. So if you want to go back and learn more about travel protection, our last webinar was all about that. All right, we've come to the Q&A. Go ahead and put your questions into the field, and we'll get them answered as fast as we can and in the order they appear.
So let's see, it looks like, is the weather protection included? And let's see, does the weather protection include high winds without rain? That is a great question. I don't believe that it does. I believe you have to be rained out. Is Nate on the call with us? I think he is, isn't he?
I am. No, for travel protection with weather, it is adverse weather involving rain. So tornadoes or high wind events that don't involve rain are not protected.
Let's see, what's the plan for the mobile app? That's a great question. We do plan on finishing the mobile app. It's still technically in beta right now. And some of the features changed when, unfortunately, Apple updated a bunch of their requirements for the app to be active on their platform. So we had to do a bunch of updates to what we even had. So we'll probably get some more updates to that this year, but it's definitely in the plan to add some more of our features to our mobile app. And let's see, it looks like there's a question about how we help with chargebacks. Debbie, that is a great question. I don't believe I have the answer to that. I'd have to check with our credit card processing team and find out exactly how they handle that. You can also reach out to us But I'll see after the webinar. I will definitely have someone follow up with you and answer that question for you. There's another question. What's in the pipeline for 2024? That is a great question. You should probably attend our ResNexus Virtual Academy coming up on the 20th of February, where we definitely talk about upcoming innovations that we're looking at for 2024. So I highly recommend you do that.
Looks like we've got a question about what is the additional cost for ResNexus Payments? As far as I'm aware, I'm not on that team, but as far as I'm aware, the only additional fee would be a PCI compliance fee, which is billed once per year. Other than that, it would just be the 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction.
Looks like there was a question about group bookings. Would we allow retail items such as a meal package to be purchased inside the group reservations page? That's a great question, Nicole. We actually have some plans this year to, and actually pretty soon, I think it's coming up here in March that we plan on launching that update. But we're going to be doing a phase 2 on our Group Reservations Pro feature that's only available in Professional Edition and above. And it will basically will update the booking engine to be the same as our Gen 6 booking engine and have all the same features within Group Reservations Pro. So you should be able to look forward to that being updated this year.
Brad, we got a question about the Maps feature for the guest portal. Can you talk a little bit about how customers are able to access that and use it from their phone?
The Maps feature on the app is currently only displaying the map. It doesn't have the clickable links like it does on the booking engine. It's literally just an image that shows any active map. So if you have a map active on your booking engine, it will appear in the app, but it doesn't have the small little clickable links on the individual units. And honestly, I don't believe we'll be able to add a feature like that on a mobile app. We would have to look into it, but it does display the actual map. They just aren't able to book from it. Let's see. There was a question about the guest review system. It looks like. Do bad reviews also direct share on portals like TripAdvisor? If not, they consider that it's a review gating and is highly sanctioned by them. I used third-party software that offered this, and that was a consequence. I don't know how. I don't think we did a whole lot of research. Basically, the way the review system works is we allow you to determine how you want it to work. So if you receive feedback that is extremely satisfied, then you can say, hey, if you're extremely satisfied, go to these. If they consider it review gating that you don't when you receive a bad one, then by all means provide the same links when they give you a bad review. If it's something you know that is required by them. Basically, it's all the tools are there for you to decide how you want to use it. You can customize it to your heart's content, and that's why we designed it that way.
We've got a question about credit card processing that I'm not sure we'll be able to answer today, but I'll field it out to see if Brad or Nate can help out. It says, in regards to the credit card processor, are there any status updates of ResNexus being able to process pre-booked refunds via ResNexus?
To process pre-booked refunds. I'm not sure I understand that question, honestly.
Okay. So I guess we'll just encourage them to reach out to support for that.
Yeah, it sounds to be like they may be referring to deposits, in which case, it would have been charged through the system normally, and you would be able to process a refund. So I'm not sure exactly what pre-booked refunds means, but we could definitely investigate it after. Definitely reach out to us if you have further questions on that. Will texting be available in Canada anytime? Our current plan for any text messaging or communication via text or chats for outside of the US right now is probably going to be with WhatsApp in the beginning instead of expanding our texting options. We find that most properties that are outside of the US tend to use WhatsApp more than anything. But we do have the ability to turn on outside of the U.S. On our provider side. We just haven't done that yet because we don't have a huge amount of properties outside of the U.S. right now. We are starting to get quite a few in Canada though, so we'll probably have to visit that at some point. But our initial plan was to use WhatsApp.
Yeah, similar to
That's
another Canadian question, someone asked if travel protection for weather incidents will eventually be extended to Canada. Perhaps Nathan can
I,
help us
I,
out with that.
I
Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
I can answer that one. On that one, yes, eventually we just need to make sure that we're researching and have in the United States we can verify it with the National Weather Service, and we're just looking into kind of a comparable solution for Canada. But that's kind of our limitation is we just need to be able to verify the weather. And if you have suggestions on a service that provides that, then that would be great. We do use NORAD, but again, that's U.S. based. We were looking for something that was a little bit more localized to that country.
And it looks like there
Great,
was
thank you.
further clarification on that credit card processing question earlier. It looks like they moved credit card processors. So now I understand the question. When they switched credit card processors, they can't process a refund on the prior booking from the previous processor. So I do understand that question now. Yes, we do plan on making that available with our current processor. It is in development. As far as status goes, you're probably looking at another month or so. There's actually two processors currently in process of being developed right now. And so it's taking a little bit of time to make sure that those things actually work. And really what it would be is we need the ability to send funds without a charge. So it's not a refund, it's transferring funds to a credit card that wasn't charged, and that's a whole different ball of wax when you get to that point. But yes, we do have plans to remedy that situation for people that switch. Right now, though, unfortunately, it's not available.
And I was going to speak a little bit more on the chargeback assistance. As I've met with the team, our chargeback assistance is the benefit if you use ResNexus Payments, depending on the option that you use. What we're able to do is when you have a chargeback, we're able to assist you in looking up the reservation, seeing if they signed the policies, and gather the information as to why and to be able to explain why you're getting the chargeback on what date, and kind of package the information so that you can send it off to the credit card portal so that when it comes to the dispute, you can have all the information ready and collected for the credit card provider. Kind of saves you a lot of legwork that way.
And let's see, there's a question about a feature for guests to sign policies. Yes, you can send a link for a guest to sign policies for a specific reservation. If you're just trying to get like a general, if they're not a guest yet, like they don't have a current reservation, you wouldn't be able to do that. It has to be on a reservation, and then you can have them sign. So um, I believe that's a pro and above feature. I'd have to double check on that. Um, and if you need help with how to set that up or where it's located, I highly suggest you reach out to your red carpet professional, and they can definitely assist you with where to find that in the back office. Let's see, any update on the QuickBooks Online app? It doesn't appear to be working any longer. We haven't had QuickBooks. I guess I'm not sure what you mean by the QuickBooks Online app because we don't have a QuickBooks Online app that connects to ResNexus. Ours is just a simple export. And if you're using the old desktop version, it would export to a file that you could manually import into the desktop. And if you're using their new online version, when you first set it up, it just records your login information and does the export for you. automatically. It's not necessarily a connection or an app or something that happens on a regular basis. Um, if you're referring to their own app, like it stopped working, I'm not sure if that's what I haven't heard anything about that from QuickBooks. Let's see, any plans to enable coupon codes for birthday anniversary emails if we are offering a discount? Um, I mean, you can enable, so if you have professional edition, you are able to create specials and packages that allow you to create a coupon code that you can add to any email that a guest could enter on the booking engine, and it would take them through a wizard that would help them get the discount. So if you're not seeing that option, you most likely are not on professional edition. And if you want to reach out to your red carpet professional here, they can show you how, either where to find that or how to upgrade to that.
All right, great. Looks like questions are starting to slow down. So we'll keep it open for another couple minutes. But just in the meantime, I'd just like to thank everybody for taking the time out of your day to come and learn what's new with ResNexus. All right, it looks like that's all the questions we have for today. So, oh wait, maybe there's perhaps one more. Let's see. When receiving a text from a guest through the messaging system, are you able to show what room they're assigned to instead of just showing their name only?
Currently, it just shows their name. Um, and if anything, we would probably display the reservation number. I believe we have some new designs for that page coming up, but it's going to be several months before we get back to doing anything for text messaging. But yeah, we definitely could do something along those lines for sure.
All right, and if that's going to be all for today, then I just hope that everyone here has a great rest of your week.